The horse is only bigger than the donkey. It is the donkey that is stronger. Welcome to another episode. We are still on the punch. And in this episode, we're going to page 3. I showed it to you, I showed it to viewers in my last episode. That's the episode that precedes this one. You can see from the punch bag. In other words, they punch you with the truth. You can see the punch, heavy punch. And the story we have here is, what does it profit a man? What does it profit a man? Where my finger is, under my finger. What does it profit a man? And then watch land laws very closely. Watch land laws very closely. And under it, AFRE must examine this. And then after that, still close down this border town. Close down this border town. Then after that, show more interest, parents urged. Show more interest, parents urged. Let's see if we can do all of them. The first story, what does it profit a man? There's no question mark there anyway. A story was told of a gardener who always trimmed his lawns and shaped his flower neatly. A visitor who passed that way met this gardener still at work. He inquired, "Are you the owner of this house?" The gardener replied, "No." The gardener replied, "Oh no, I live here with my master, who has been away for the past 2 years." When is he coming? When is he coming back? The visitor asked. "I do not know. He might come today, in a month's time, or even spend another year." "Why then do you work as if you will be arriving this moment?" The gardener replied, "I must always be ready, even if I don't know when he will arrive, so that I will never be found wanting." I think that's the end of the dialogue. Then, paragraph. This might seem an interesting conversation, but it has a message for me and you. In our time, many people are living as if they have all the eternity to themselves and forget that any moment they can leave this world. Many are amassing wealth through any means. Many are amassing wealth through any means. They do not care what happens to their neighbor, if only they are satisfied. They build houses while their friends have nowhere to lay their heads. They eat the richest food while their parents cannot even get a cup of rice for a square meal. They put on the most expensive clothing while they see a close friend in tattered clothes. When there is something to be shared equally with others, they take the lion's share. What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own life? We must plan our life as if the end will be any moment. The writer is D.D. Nuno. D.D. Nuno Jr. D.D. Nuno, into brackets, Jr. So, D.D. Nuno, we salute you for your story. It's quite inspiring if you're alive. Okay. If it's not, maybe the children might hear his name here. All right. We go to Okay, beneath it, show more interest. Parents urge. Let's go there. Mr. Prince Kobina or Mr. Prince Kobina Godwin, Mr. Prince Kobina Godwin, editor of The Punch, has called on parents not to regard merely the registration of their children at the beginning of every academic term as the end of their responsibility in the effort to educate their children. In other words, don't just come and register your child for the school and then walk away feeling content. Okay, Mr. Prince Godwin pointed out that it was wrong for parents to send their children to school, deposit them like commodities on the class teacher, and abdicate further responsibility for their upbringing solely on the poor teacher while expecting miracles in the area of character building. He was speaking at the end of the year. He was speaking at the end of the year and prize giving day of the Kotobabi Presbyterian Primary School last weekend. Mr. Prince Godwin, who was the chairman for the occasion, advised parents to show more interest to the welfare, progress, and difficulties of their wards during and after school hours, adding that moral character building and educational responsibility for the child should be a joint cooperative and endeavor between the parent and the teacher. Okay. On behalf of the Punch newspaper, on behalf of the Punch newspaper, we made him sorry, on behalf of the Punch newspaper, he made a token donation of 200 cedis towards an appeal for funds launched by Headmistress Florence Quino for a library project. Mr. E.B. Afari, General Manager of Presbyterian Schools, who was guest speaker for the function, praised the high level of performance of the school, which has 600 children with very little facilities. In fact, it should have been priests, no D there. So let me correct it. Praised uh, the high level of performance. Yes. Okay. Paragraph. He lauded the teachers for making the school a model for progress for progress and initiative, and advised the children to be obedient, honest, and respectful, adding that as children you must think, speak, and understand like children. Present were George Ankobia Achampong, a social worker and librarian, Miss Georgina Yebua, head teacher of KM1 and 2 in Accra Newtown. Emmanuel Ofori Okuoku, H. Mensah of Providence Preparatory School, Janet Frimpong, and Miss Lisbeth Dixon, who presented prizes. Full stop. An amount of 600 cedis was realized at the function. 600 cedis was big money in those days. Today, 600 cedis, I don't know what it can do. It's too small to do anything meaningful. All right, we finished with that. Let's go to watch land laws very closely. watch landlords very closely. The positive charges applied, the positive charges applied to the antennae of our social cheats and their accomplices have indicated glaringly that the victims are now in, in, in are now in trauma, are now in a trauma. I don't know. Okay, it's one word. Are now in a trauma in which there is very little hope for their survival. However, their final, their final specimen market, their final specimen marketing the, the beginning of the creation of their organic life are even more dangerous. And I can't get understanding. I can't understand this man. However, their final spesms is spelled SPESMS. Then marketing, the final specimen marketing and beginning of the cessation of their organic life are even more dangerous. I hope you guys will understand this better than I do. Hmm? Okay, they are in this form of stars. Then one, landlords are not charging the requisite fee for their rooms, and reports even indicate that some are offering higher fees as conditions against ejection prior to innovations. Higher fees as conditions against ejection prior to innovations. Okay. We still insist on the issue of receipts and possibly a clause warning against arbitrary, arbitrary ejection within the span of at least 4 years. Reports from Accra New Town, Kotobabi, Pig Farm, Kokomlemle in Accra are very chilling, especially where the landlords are known to be soldiers. See, where the landlords are known to be soldiers. There is, there is inconsistency in the assertion that goods are still short on the market are because all are witnesses to the fact that when conditions of Kalabuli were obnoxiously prevailing, every item prevailing, every item under the sun, including tinapa from South Africa, were on the market. Hoarding still persists, and good to the goods must flow at all costs. Sorry, and so, I know, mm, hoarding still persists, and so the goods must flow at all costs. Yes. Then another point: queuing at official hours must be abolished, since it is an open insult to government workers who cannot leave their offices and desert their places to go and form lines. Yes, in those days we used to queue for items, small items like soap, sugar, and whatnot. Mm. Places to go and form lines. Okay. Uh, Another point that some clerks at some of the government apartments must be told that does not mean the revolution does not mean being disrespectful to senior officers for a moral revolution pre- presupposes indefinite restoration of mutual trust and respect. One does not climb One does not climb to the top by simply throwing his weight about. Full stop. Revolution does not mean indiscipline. Revolution does not mean indiscipline. That's still the revolution of Flight Lieutenant Jerry Jornalist Tuesdays. Okay. The one house, one house affair is a very good attempt, but since some could easily evade the some if some can easily evade the process, we submit that all house owners must submit their photographs, such as the photographs, such that if names differ, faces cannot be different. Very good. That is if the same person owns more than one house. So these are the rules of the revolution. We must have everything. You mustn't possess so many things at a time. They'll tell you the number of items you should have. Okay. Own more than one house. Okay. Then we come to the middle page, below what I've just read. And that is titled AFRC must examine this. Armed Forces Revolutionary Council must examine this. That is the name of Rawlings government. Okay. Namshi. Pardon me, viewers. I'm finding it difficult to see well. Pardon me. Have mercy on me. Despite the increase, despite the hoarse clamor for the modernization of agriculture towards the benefit of our farmers and the entire country at large, as well as the cry for more homegrown food, there is a project whose agreement has been has been casualty of deliberate bureaucratic feet, a deliberate bureaucratic feet dragon, and and calculated subversion by the untouchable officialdom of previous governments. Okay. An American firm with no mean reputation made a magnanimous offer to a a magnanimous offer to a Ghanaian company, yes, to a Ghanaian company on terms that we're getting to the turn place, on terms that were considered by industrial experts as commendable, highly commendable and conducive to agricultural development in the country. Among other things, the foreign firm was bent on, on consistently consistently supplying its Ghanaian counterparts with agricultural equipment and also as a supplement And also as a supplement, the and also as a supplement, the establishment of regional workshops for for the servicing of this machinery. Sadly, we are going to a place that is too difficult to read. It is here, very difficult to read. For the servicing of this machinery. Okay. The plans of the two companies were such that the regional, I can't read it well. I'm sorry, I can't attempt it. Uh, it will be too hard for me. But let's try to jump over the hole, and see if we can get the. This is on the separate. I think on two separate, oh yeah, on two separate occasions, we we led the on two separate occasions we had the chance to voice out our commitment or consent. I don't know. I think commitment or our commitment to voice out our mm, or our sentiment. Please, viewers, fix your own words, please. To voice out our sentiment over over the compulse over the company of consp- of conspiratory of conspiratory oh god of conspiratory conspiratory uh, it's this crucial present that sorry, I'm not reading it well. I think I should abandon it. Mm. Okay, let's go to the next paragraph. Let's see if the next paragraph is legible enough. Apparently, this conflict of interest, which in any case is not in the benefit of the states, is not in the benefit in the let me see. Okay, apparently, this conflict of interest, which in any case is not in the benefit of the state, has done more harm to agriculture, has done more harm to agricultural effort than can be mentioned, especially especially now that the U.S. appears to have granted us uh, collateral, to have granted us collateral in this field to buy American agricultural uh, machinery. Yes, here we have to praise the Americans government and the Americans in general. They helped us a lot in agriculture and so many things. I remember when we were young, the Americans used to give us all kinds of food free of charge. They would ship them and clothing. They would ship them free of charge. Come and share to us free of charge. The food items included cocoa, guinea corn, sorghum, yellow corn, milk powder, all kinds of, and then even some uh, meats. Unfortunately, pork was included, but that's what they were eating there. And so they gave us a lot of things. And I can remember here some individual Americans came and formed the Habitat, Habitat International, helping the poor to build houses which they can own later for themselves. So they have done a lot of good for us. So while castigating the Americans, we must remember, somebody like me, I remember, they did a lot of good for us in my childhood. Mhm. Anyway, that was after toppling Kwame Nkrumah. Mhm. All the same, they did help us. Okay, let's see. And apart from giving us teachers on Peace Corps basis to help us in our education, so they are good. Well, if you, I think we must try to separate the American people from the American governments, or from the American government of today. In those days, they were still American governments, but they were doing it well for us, giving us all kinds of stuffs and greens. Okay, let's see. Where are we? That the U.S. appears to have granted us agricultural in this, to have granted us collateral in the field to buy American agricultural machinery. Okay, now we come to the next section. Action. We take this opportunity to restate to we take this opportunity to restate our convictions and call on the present government to take the matter up, review all the merits and demerits of the case, such that the contracts would go through to boost the dwindling enthusiasm in the investment of agriculture, which keeps the nation on her toes. Okay, as it as it is, we cannot we cannot afford the perennial shame of going to the U.S. cap in hand, always always to beg for crumbs of wheat and other agricultural produce, the granting of which capture banner headlines. Let us have Let us have the means to produce the food ourselves. And now, and now, I don't know if it's complete. And it's not finished, but there is a letter there. I don't know how to. And now, I think that is, so I don't know. I can't tell whether it's finished with or not. Because when you go to the next column, it is another story altogether. Don't fool the public. Hmm? Okay, now let's go to the next story. Close down this border town. Close down this border town. To all intents and purposes, Bedukrum on the Ghana Ivory Coast border serves a very good purpose. Paragraph. Paragraph. Although sited in remote Brown Ahafo, it serves as the it serves as the gateway. It serves as the gateway to both Ghana and the Ivory Coast. And also, oh God, I don't know what put on this. Certain some oil, not edible oil anyway. To both Ghana and the Ivory Coast. And also others. I don't know whether it's others. Yeah, and also others and also as a then capital. Exit for the two countries. Exit for the two countries which have been on the best of terms as far as the ECOWAS doctrine is concerned. And maybe viewers, you can join the sentence together because I don't know. The exit begins with a capital letter. So, okay, paragraph. Uh, but there is the other side of the border. There is the other side of the border town, which which stinks to the high heavens, which stinks to the high heavens. It is the headquarters of all smuggling. Aha, not physically stinking. I see. Not physically speaking. Not speaking, stinking to the nose. Mhm. It is the headquarters of the smuggling in the western region of the country, or in the western half, not region, in the western half of the country. Drugs are transferred across the border to the Ivory Coast openly. Cocoa finds a good and reliable route through this town, and all the items that are high in demands in the country find their way through this town. At a point in paragraph, at no point in this, at no point in this is the axis, at no point in this is the axis of the smuggling into and out of the country. Then, then the four, oh, I think, then therefore, I don't know, then the four, then the four, okay, let me see, then therefore, the smuggled goods, or is it before? Please, viewers, bear with me. Then therefore, the smuggling goods, all the local health posts, which is the local health posts, all the local which health posts, which is the local health posts, which anything but in a name, was anything in a name. Please pardon me. I'm reading what I'm seeing, even though it's not legible. I've seen it has appeared twice. Okay. This is the center of activity for the smuggled goods, all the diamonds, for the smuggled goods, all the diamonds, drinks, cars, and other items find their way there. The place is not of health post. The place is not a health post. If the AFRC doubts this piece of information, it only has to screen the background of the people who are supposed to be running the clinic, and the truth would dawn on them. I think that's the end of the story. Don't fool the public. That's the next story. Don't fool the public. We haven't finished. Not finished it. The truth would dawn on them. Pardon me. So, would dawn on them. Okay, let's stop it. I think that's all. Let's go to the next story. Don't fool the public. That's the next story. Don't fool the public. Just a few days after the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council set up set up the contract review committee and started to harass contractors who have who have collected fees for no work done. The road, which stretches from the Texas petrol station through the Maprobi public station to the Goyle petrol station to the Goyle petrol filling station at Aberdware, has been opened to general traffic. The thing is still happening. Contractors, the politicians charge contractors before giving them contract. And when they come to work, they do some schedule works for us. The contractors have to give the politicians heavy percentage. And how do you expect them to do the work well for the people? It's still happening. So you see, the AFRC only came to feed themselves and go. No, the changes they made have not been permanent. But even then, some of the changes, they destroy them themselves. Mhm. Okay. Uh, Petrol filling station opened to general traffic. Yes. The opening of the road under normal circumstances should give should give a ray of hope, rel- relief and joy to all the people who been using who's been using the rail, both motorists and pedestrians alike. Ah, I don't know what kind of this English is this. I believe I'm reading right what I see. Let me see again. The opening of the road under normal circumstances should give a ray of hope, relief, and joy to all the people who been using the road, both motorists and pedestrian road, and then maybe who have been using. But here it is who been using the okay, paragraph. But this is not the case. The people are fuming mad. They are raging. They are uh, they are arranging and shouting their heads off. I don't know if it's arranging or raging. They are, and I don't know, ranging. Okay, I think it's ranging, yes. They are ranging and shouting their heads off. Hmm? Paragraph. The reasons for the state of affairs are not far-fetched. The condition of the road is in the same condition in which it was before the contract was given some years ago. If anything at all, if anything at all, it is it is in a worse. Oh, let's just I mixed up. It is in a worse condition. Mhm. Okay, the scratchings here and there by the contractor with a bulldozer in the initial stage. So the contractor just comes with equipment. You see the equipment, and as if he's working, then just scratch the ground anyhow and go. Your own country are behaving like this. God go punish them. Mm. The Nigerian will say, God go hammer them heads. Mm. The scratches here and there by the contractor with the bulldozer in the initial stage. If the road had been blocked as it was some weeks and years ago, nobody would have had a quarrel with it because then justice, which has long been denied the people, would have been done. But the quick about turn and the scurrying and the scurrying here and there to hoodwink the contract, to hoodwink the contract review committee that the road is good, and has been repaired is what beats the imagination of the people in the area. Well, briefly, the contractor just goes there, appears there, and as if he's working, and that's no work at the end of the day. Mhm. The people of the area. Paragraph. Inasmuch as we don't want to believe the rumors making the grounds of Mamprobi that the contractors already already collected the money for the job that had been for the job that had not been done, and ran away to enjoy the booty overseas. Can you imagine? Collect the money, haven't done it, collect the money and go and run away overseas and see their roads there, everything that you see their infrastructure. We have no shame. Collect the money and go abroad and then leave your country like that. Hmm? Oh my God. Enjoy the booty overseas. We are at a loss to understand why the road is now open in the same condition. Look at that. Huh? In the same condition. And in the same condition it was before the AFRC came to power. We smell a rat. We smell a rat, not a cat here. We smell a rat, not a cat here. Over to you, the Contracts Review Committee of the AFRC. Nothing happens. After the AFRC or the Contract Review Committee sees that the contractor is their favorite person, nothing happens. Nothing happens. So you see, in that case, the courts, civilian government in the civilian court is even better. They'll find a way of silencing everybody. So let's see. Over to you, the Contract Review Committee of the AFRC. Then the last story. Why is it so? In the early part, I think this area is a bit better. In the early part of this year, when the drugstores, pharmacies, and hospitals were hit by an acute shortage of drugs and medicaments, the then Commissioner of Health, Lieutenant Colonel C.S.C. Grant, seemingly seeking to diffuse this state of affairs, singled out 115 out of the existing 305 drug houses and gave them import licenses ranging from 1 million cedis to 30,000. But one must and is bound to spell one must and is bound to smell a rat when it is found that a big firm like Danaso, like Danatco, like Danatco, May and Baker, Chemical, Faco, and others, which manufacture the bulk of the country's drugs, would have the same license as the Ghana Drug House and Union Medicals. But if drug manufacturing firms which satisfy the drug houses and pharmacies get the same as the drug houses, then there is bound to be some suspicion. In other words, they made it level thing. But however big your However big or small your drug company is, you all get the same amount, the same share. Mm. Bound to be some suspicion. We don't want to believe the changing of hands of a Peugeot, or some say Peugeot, of a, let me use Peugeot, some say Peugeot, of a Peugeot 504 from one of the drug house to that top official at the Ministry of Trade. But if the offer of the donation is anything to go by, then eyewitness, then eyebrows could be raised. In other words, you use a car, ordinary car, to bribe somebody, mm, to prevent him from doing the right thing. Mm. Secondly, secondly, is it true that the house of drugs, which an alien contractor was given 100,000 license 100,000 license against well-established pharmacy shops? That's the question. I think that's the end. Please bear with me. You can see how bad the paper is. You can see how bad the paper is. And I'm only trying to make something out of it. So you see, the same problems are still existing today. During the AFRC time, like I said, accountants in particular ran out of the country. Today they are there building houses. Go to all the ministries, especially Ministry of Health. You see somebody who is nothing to talk about, building 4 houses, 3 cars, what not, all from corrupt money. Nobody talks, nobody says anything. So what's the use of the revolution? The soldiers that are staging coups all over the place must be washed. Even though they are not as hungry as Rawlings was, they are still soldiers. They have no idea of governance. They have no idea of how to govern a nation unless they get civilians or people who have read politics to help them. May God save us. Thank you very much. Ila leka, bye bye.